Bakugou Katsuki Hawks his listener, Chapter 19. Name, Competition? Written by Crimson_A. Was it something I said? You mentally questioned as you stood in front of Katsuki, who had a look that you could not quite place. Listen, he spoke up after what seems like forever, catching you off guard. You and I are competing now. Those words shook you. You like Katsuki. He was a great friend. How come he'd say such a thing? And to your face? You laughed nervously and feeling with your fingers. What do you mean? We are competing. He spoke over you, leaving you perplexed. Katsuki must have noticed your confusion because he sighed heavily, rubbing the bridge of his nose with his finger and showing his other hand in his pocket. Your brother is a freaking hero, which means you'll do good in sports festival. You were stunned. You didn't realize that Katsuki would have problem with your brother being a hero. You're my competition, dumbass. I can't have someone like you showing me up, especially if all pro heroes will be watching. He continued. You wanted to see a glimmer of sadness, guilt, even pity in his eyes, but they were blank. The same angry red ones you always saw. Fine. You spoke in a dull voice, trying so hard trying to control the break. Is that what you want? Fine. I'll stay out of your way, as long as you stay out of mine. With that, you turned and approached the door to leave. Once you walked out into the hallway, you were met with the only person you wanted to see right now. You both walked away to the cafeteria in silence. Is he bothering you again? Should have asked politely, but you could sense the hint of protectiveness. I couldn't convince him to. You shook your head, making sure to stop mid-sentence. No, it's fine. We both agreed to stay away from each other. It's fine for the best. He said. You and Shoto made it to the cafeteria, waiting in line for food. So I guess we both had our share of bad news today. Shoto informed, making you perk up, not from happiness, but from disappointment. What? Why? Did someone do or say something to you? I might regret my little popsicle. You said with fire in your eyes, to which Shoto smirked at. I just found out that my father will be attending the sports festival. He spoke honestly. You caught on air and he rolled his eyes. Endeavor? No, nope, I'm not going to die. You quivered. What would you say that my father enjoys your existence? Can't relate, but it's true. Shoto gazed at you longingly and made you cringe at the memory and look down in embarrassment. Shoto, you know how blunt your father can be, especially when you're around girls, which I am. The distance in your voice didn't falter, even though you wanted it to. You looked back at Shoto to see him not listening to you, but glancing behind him. It seems like he was eavesdropping on a conversation behind Ida and Uraraka. Shoto! You screamed in the face, attracting a lot of unwanted attention. He looked around dazed, then back at you. I apologize, but we should get back to class. You sighed in defeat and playfully punched his arm as you both laughed after. Smile time skip. Why the heck are all of you here? Uraraka asked while we stood in your classroom ready to leave, but we were blocked by many students rustling around the door. Everyone started asking questions, either to themselves or to the crowd in front of them. They're all scouting out the competition, idiots, Katsuki said, while walking towards the door with his hands in the pockets. You suddenly felt really cocky, but also extremely pissed off. How dare this random extra come to see you and your class? You rolled your eyes and mentally argue whether or not you should just fly over all those people, but decided not to, and to give your wings the proper recovery time they needed. Well, at least you know what a future pro look like. Hedgehog said confidently. The movie's extras. The class looked at him in shock, and Nina reprimanded Katsuki again. Suddenly a dull monotone voice, similar to Mr. Sawa's, rang through the crowd as you could make out a person moving through the crowd. So this is class 1A. I heard you guys were impressive, but you just sound like an ass. He said, from the crowd, emerging a tall boy with purple messy hair and heavy eye bags under you'd never seen, almost similar to Mr. Sawa ones. It still pissed you off. Who does this piece of shit think he is? Without thinking, you stormed over to him and pushed Katsuki back, getting in the lavender's face. Listen here. Katsuki isn't an asshole, okay? You can't be aggressive sometimes, but he's a good person as any of my friends are. He said confidently, not caring who was listening and who wasn't. Katsuki had listened though. He was taken aback. No one had ever said such a nice thing to him before. Not even Suku's praise meant anything to him. But what you just said, the way you said it, wow. He couldn't help thinking. Whoa, is everyone in class delusional or just you? The boy shot back, making complete eye contact with you. Katsuki was freaking pissed. Not just pissed, he was ready to do something that he might regret. He bared his teeth and narrowed his eyes. Yeah, I wanted to be in the hero course, but like many others, I was forced to choose a different track. Katsuki didn't calm down while listening though. Scouting the competition maybe some of my peers are, but I'm here to tell you, if any of us do well in sport festival, teacher might transfer us to the hero course in your place. Go closer to you, making you hesitant to step back a bit. So you better bring it all you got. He smirks a bit. That's when Katsuki lost it. Shut up, you bastard! You can talk to her like that. You better frick off or I'll kick your ass. Katsuki roughly grabbed your hand and walked away, despite hearing his classmates' objections. You walked with Katsuki, and it was silent. What get me out of that? Why say those words? I'm not at competition. The thoughts swarming in your heads, and you couldn't stop them. You didn't let me finish, dumbass. He mumbled, with the same angry expression, remembering how the purple hand teen threatened you. You were confused. What did he even mean? I said we were competition. I didn't say we were complete freaking enemies. He scoffed. You didn't know what to say, but I could feel your face heat up a bit. What's he gonna say? No, of course not. It's Katsuki. We can still be friends or whatever. He added at the last part hesitantly, and you internally did a double take. We're friends? He finally said it out loud. He thought he had never seen so blunt about his emotions, other than when he was sorry for stalking you or when he got jealous of Shoto. Katsuki stopped abruptly and turned sharply to trick the look of annoyance and worry in your direction. Would you freaking say something already, so I know you don't freaking up? He said. You didn't say anything. How could you? Without much thought of the consequences, you stood up tipping toes and wrapped your arms around his neck in a comforting hug. Katsuki stumbled on his words a bit, as his arms awkwardly froze in the air. Shit, why the frick would you do that? This freaking retarded little... He stopped when he looked down at you. Your eyes were closed and you had a small smile gracing your face. Katsuki felt more awkward, but before he could think of hugging you back, you unwrapped your arms and leaned back, releasing the hug. You stayed on your toes and kissed his cheek. Thank you, Katsuki. You smiled, and your tone was genial. With that, you walked away, leaving him standing there, confused about whatever he was feeling, and what you just had done. He phoned around to direct again and screamed out before he left his line of sight. What kind of freaking answer was that? Your beautiful laugh rang through the hallway before you winked at him and waved goodbye. Katsuki just stood there. He didn't admit it, but he wanted to get to know you. Yes, as a competition, but also as a friend. Freaking stupid ass man, he thought, but his facial muscles defied him as a smirk crossed his face for less than a millisecond. Being in competition is going to be interesting, isn't it? That was the part. I hope I'll see you guys next video. Bye!